Welcome back to Bronze League Heroes. In the bottom right, my head gotta strap in. It is Jpowell, and in the top left, sending his overlord to scout the beaches, which someday he hopes to invade. It is EAD with the classic 2 Overlord 2 gas opener. Into no spawning pool. A staple of the African esports meta in this day and age. On the other side, Jpowell, not walling off against a Zerg is risky business, but he does have a gateway and an assimilator on the way. Is it going to be an expand? It looks like he's watched a guide or two. I'm not sure where you would find... Nope, I take it back. It's time for a scout. Alright, the spawning pool on the way. The APMs. We've got Jpowell rocking out at 100. Incredible. EAD, almost 1 action a minute. Actually, 1 action every single second, rather. 1 action a minute would be playing Hearthstone. Alright. The spawning pool is on the way. A cyber core as well. Jpowell seems to have some semblance of an idea. There is a zealot. EAD making sure these overlords are protected in the lagoon. A third overlord to make sure he's even more not supply blocked. But a zealot. The single zealot harass is coming out. Jpowell is tucked into his own base. The zealot will hold the ramp. A queen on the way. The probe is still out on the map. But an expansion is coming up alongside Warp Gate. Jpowell putting his tools together. EAD has 400 gas banked up. And almost no ability to spend it. What is he saving up for? A Ravager Rush? A lair? An oil embargo? We're not sure. Alright. Jpowell, on the other hand. Does have stalkers. He does have an expand. He has a couple gates. But that's about it. And it looks like EAD will be expanding. Unfortunately, the expansion is in his own base. Which is probably the safest place he could have made it. These drones have their own purpose. They are moved to make room for the queen as he goes for the 3-hatch. The double expand build, a very bold move to kick things off with 750 gas. And we're going to get that layer started. On the other side, Jpowell is screaming towards Warp Gate. Has a shield battery at the front. He's dropped an APM since that original scout. But he is putting together what looks to be not the most technical army, but an army of any kind, which sets him apart in this game. Alright. The 4-base build. What a greedy Zerg player we're looking at here. The Warp Gate has completed. Jpowell at 26 probes. Getting a forge as well. Another base. EAD with the 5-hatch before units build. And Jpowell, I mean, he could punish him, but he doesn't have this information yet. But once this economy explodes, EAD will have the opportunity. A Nidus network. We're not sure what he's going to put in the Nidus network, but a Nidus network is the call. Obviously, so he can transfer drones to his 3rd. I can only assume. And he has made the queens to inject, but he has not injected with them, so we are indeed playing Brood War here. Back in Brood War, our queens could fly. Nowadays, you need overlords. This. So, what is the plan? The drone, making a lot of moves. Where are you going? What is your plan? Unfortunately, his 6th hatch will be blocked. Wait, where? Where? What are you? What? What is your story? A Nidus worm. That's one way to cut down on mining time. The queens will Nidus to his own 3rd base in order to be able to assault those rocks from an angle those rocks never could have expected. But only 3 of them. The other 2 get left out. At the same time, Jpowell mustering a force. He's got double shield battery, gateway, a little outpost on the opposite side of the map. Jpowell hasn't scouted since about the 1-minute mark in this game. He shades into the natural, completely exposed. The queens get back into the Nidus, even though they were about equidistant between both bases. They will pop out. $1,600 gas in the bank, no upgrades. The queens, not the most agile or nimble units. Jpowell has built a strong army, but most of it is at home. In customary fashion, you don't want to commit all your pieces. Incredible Adept Micro, targeting down the drones. He's down to 21. 20. Smart. EAD finding time to comment. Maybe not realizing he can make units that are not queens. With the 7-minute Adept Strike. No one could have ever expected. Another Nidus network to make sure he's able to get to his expansion. Everybody knows that's the quickest way. In order to be able to get between bases. Walking for fucking plebs. Alright, these are queens. These are royalty. They do not walk. They are teleported magically through an organic matter. That was pretty smart. EAD still exclaiming. Transfuses are not being used. The lair is... Wait. Another lair. The backup lair. For those who don't know, the big benefit of the lair is it gives you 500 more HP, so you should morph all of your hatcheries into lairs when you have the opportunity. Bet you didn't know that. The Zerglings will pop out as EAD pulls the parachute, but unfortunately the parachute was rigged. $18 more Zerglings and Zergling speed is on the way. There is still mining. He's down to 16 drones. If only the 6 Stalkers Sentry... Actually, it might be walled off. And Zealot came across the map. He might be able to finish it. Or if he just attacked with all of his units. But if EAD is allowed to muster Zerglings, then this game could take a few minutes longer. 5 Hydras are on the way. The secondary lair. The decoy lair. Gonna be taking... He's targeting it, though. Unfortunately, that means the Zerglings are killing the Stalkers. The Broodlings are going to draw some of the fire in the only scenario in which the slow Zerglings could have killed any Stalkers. The lair falls. 5 Hydras on the top of the ramp. They do a lot of DPS, but probably not enough. Plus 111 is done across the board. Jpowell getting his upgrades, getting up to almost 40 probes with his outpost-based attack, is working his way through. He still has the Nidus network. He could... Oh, the Hydras come out. Just not enough of them. 6 more Zerglings. I don't think that's going to do it. He's targeting down the hatch, though. The Broodlings, the best fighting unit he has. A Zealot, not quite going to go down. That armor holding too strong. Another warp. Another Nidus. His only chance to save the game. To Nidus, to the top right. He can transfer his drones from there, and his Zerglings. He's abandoning his main. The Nidus comes out. Jpowell pays no heed. Some of the Zerglings will go into the main, because why not? The Hydras will pop out. Maybe not into the happiest situation. The Nidus network is targeted down, which means the Hydras might be able to kill one of these Stalkers. The Guardian Shield used. And Jpowell, at the 11-minute mark, will take a third, with 3,200 minerals in the bank. The Zerglings, the counterattack is readied. He accidentally pops out Zerglings on either side. I don't know if that was intentional. We're going to rebuild the spawning pool, not at the hidden base, but at the third, as EAD is staring down the barrel of what might be his first defeat in history, possibly because it's his only game in history. The Sentry, taking it head first from the claws. A beautiful force field. The drones are evacuated. And he transfers them over to the side. The spawning pool implodes. The third spawning pool of the game will be built in the top right corner, and now we play Find the Zerg. How long will it take Jpowell? Tried a stupid strategy of all queens. I know. Queens are strong in numbers. Queens hunt in packs. Many people don't know this, but queens are actually very social creatures. The more of them there are together, the stronger they become. So when the queen packs come a-hunting, riding their Nidus networks and Nidus worms, I appreciate the usage of a strategy. So creative. Almost TLO-esque, I would say. Possibly better. One more queen, the last Guardian, as like 30 Zealots come up and just kill every... It might be time for EAD to tap out. There are no more bases to mine from. The drones will... The force field doesn't quite catch all of them. We're not sure if EAD knows how to surrender. He's at 1 supply. The drone escapes. Never surrender. The chosen one. The only 2 buildings remain in the main. And he will, never giving up, re-expand to the bottom left corner with his only drone, bringing him to 0 supply. He fights to the last. A tenacious warrior, but maybe not a experienced one. The hatchery will complete. He can rebuild a drone and rebuild a spawning pool and take it from the top. He researches burrow. Unfortunately, you can't burrow your buildings. And it's all over. EAD is out of buildings. Jpowell is victorious by using the strategy of actually making units. and will hunt down the last bastion of EAD. What a story.